You and I both talk about you got to really work hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to get knocked down and you're going to fail and you got to get back up. That's a harsh message, I guess, for some. Does that discourage people from trying because we tell them that it's not easy? You got to work hard?
Sure, if you want to be a loser, go ahead and have that mentality.
Yeah.
You can do that, and I've seen lots of people, and I'll step over those people day in and day out. Doesn't mean I don't like them, don't mean I don't appreciate them, but look, you can dream all your life or you can go do, and your dreams will catch up with you. And I found that more and more people who do it, their dreams catch up to them. And I don't always have the things that I want to do in my head about where I want to go. I just know that's the direction in which I want to go. And it is hard work. And I said earlier, it's called hard work because it's frickin' hard. And it's not for everybody. And that's what it takes. And that's why you have to be relentless. And it's not just about thinking big, but acting big, doing it.
Okay, we're telling these.
Not a lot of people have the ability to do
We're telling these people it's hard work. When does the fun start?
The fun starts by doing the hard work.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Sometimes when you work out and you really work out and you're exhausted, but you feel great. Or I go back to my place in South Dakota. I love to get on the tractor, haul around the wood, cut the stuff, move dirt, do all the stuff. I'm exhausted. I lay down at the end of the day and I am just all ready to pass out. But you know what? I feel great. And the same thing happens in business every single day.
When I go on vacation or I take trips with my wife, we take a lot of trips. We love to take trips. I work on every trip I'm on because I want to.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do the same thing. Now, I'm only allowed to work a little bit. Now, my wife's 5'1", 105 pounds, so she sends terror into my eyes, all right? And so I'm allowed to work like till 10:30, 11, because that's when she's getting ready in the morning. And so I can work up to then, and then I got to check out for a little while. Because it's good to check out, too.
It's good to check out, but I think the point for all people is...
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Do you get tired of hearing people, you send an email to somebody or you communicate with them or you put a phone call in and you don't hear from them for 2 or 3 weeks. Does that drive you crazy?
It drives me nuts. And there's a lot of people, I don't get why people do this. I respond to every email. I respond to every phone call. Now, sometimes it's not always me. I'll say, hey, Linda, my executive assistant, find out what they want. So because they weren't clear in their conditions of satisfaction, so they're not telling me there's a pony in there yet, so I don't know if I want to go ride yet. So, but yeah, it does bother me because I think we're lacking some skill sets of some people who are real lazy and don't get back to people on time and fail to see the value. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give up.
No.
Because if you're on my list, man, I am going to stop you.
You're going to drip on them.
Exactly.
But I find so many companies that you've seen them, you've worked in them, and I've worked in them, big and small, where they are so busy. They're so busy meeting. They're so busy doing, I don't even know what they're busy doing, but they cannot return phone calls, or if they talk to you, I've got 10 minutes to talk, that's it.
Yeah.
How do you read that?
Well, then what you have to do is be very clear about what the condition of satisfaction, what is the pain you're going to solve for them, and then you can show them the value. By showing them that value, then you can get your point across. If I'm selling to them, for instance, which is constantly what most of us are doing from time to time. You and I tend to sell more than probably manage more. Well, I know we manage a lot, but we tend to like to sell.
But because if we're the owner of the business, we want to create opportunities for growth. And if we're going to, because I want to think big and act big. And I cannot think big and act big unless I've got platforms and partners that can enhance our partnership.
Yeah, and I also want the rewards of acting big.
Yes.
I mean, let's don't forget about that. There's nothing wrong with building wealth. I have 3 rules for my own self, my personal conditions of satisfaction. I mentioned this earlier, so for those listening and watching, think about what are your personal conditions of satisfaction. Now, for me, they're very simple, and it took me years to develop them, but now I have them, and I've been sticking to them for the last 25 years, and I've built more wealth and more personal achievement as a result of focusing on my goals, my personal conditions of satisfaction. And number 1 is I want to build wealth for my family. Okay? I want to make money. That's how guys like you and I keep score.
That's right.
And you said this, and I said this, and I'm sure your wife will say the same thing, because my wife says this all the time. She goes, you do this for free. Okay? I would. Now, how we get getting paid, that's how we keep score. Number 2 is I want to learn things. I really like to learn and figure out how things are done and the way they're done and to really delve into that. And then the 3rd is I want to have fun. And so when I've been in situations where all three of those things weren't working, it never works out. I can usually do two of them for a while, and then usually it's the wealth one that's got to catch up. Because if you're not making money at it, then why you're really doing it in the end? Because you're just spending time, and those are great to do those things, but you have to pay the bills. All right, we have to pay the bills, and I want my kids to go to schools, and I want my wife to have a nice life, and I want my grandchildren to have a legacy. So those are the things that we're going to do. But I've always found that if I don't have all three of those things, it's not worth doing. So find yours, whatever they are. You can copy mine if they work for you, but find yours.
Well, all of us, we all like to do that, and we can do that, and that also the fun of doing what we do, but it also drives me that I get to have these wonderful pleasures of life that I don't want to give up.
You're also one of those kind of guys that we like the simple things in life as well. So just sitting around with our buddies. I'm sure I know Bud Grant was a really good friend of yours for a number of years.
Yep, still is.
And you guys get together, I'm sure, and most of the time it's just over a glass of scotch or something.
Yeah.
Just a good conversation.
No, it really, it's the, here I am 75, you're about 25, right?
I wish I was that.
But
55.
But don't you think at 55 you probably have more energy and drive than you did at 25? I do.
Look at you. I mean, you're a great example. I was talking to somebody, because you and I had talked about a week ago, and I was regaling somebody. I said, look at Fran Tarkin, 75 years old, and I'm not saying that's old, okay, by any way, shape, or form. I said, but look how much energy he has. I mean, I put a quarter in this guy, and he went for the full ride, And I said, that's something to be able to watch that, because we're not only thinking big, but we're acting big, and we're still relentless at what we do because we love what we do, and that's good to do. But you've got to make it work. If it doesn't work, then it's a bad thing, because you've got to make it work. And so you got to pick those fights right and pick big fights as much as possible, but deliver and deliver and deliver. So succeeding is real critical.
Think big, act big, out on all the outlets everywhere. And tell our people, what are they going to get out of that primarily, out of reading that book?
Listen, for so long, people have been telling you can't do things and why you can't do things. They put, impractical or perceived obstacles in your way. And what I want you to do is be able to figure out what are the things that you can see and hear to understand that these folks are going to try to stop you from making big things happen, and how you need to steamroll through those obstacles, go around them, go over them, go through them, or just ignore them in order to be successful. Because it's the relentless that win in the end, not the lucky. So I want you to be relentless, and I want you to be big and act bigger so that you can be successful. That's what you're going to get out of this book. And whether it's for you as a person or it's driving it for your business, that's what you're going to get out of this book.
And let me say to all you people that getting information from Jeff like this, reading books that he has like this, that's a pretty inexpensive way to be able to get this type of information from this type of experience. Go buy his book. Think Big, Act Big, Jeff Hayzlett. There it is. Thank you, buddy. You are one of a kind. Thanks a lot.
Well, champ, thank you. You're a real champion, and I appreciate just being a part of it and being in anywhere around you and with you.
Thank you, buddy.